Hey everyone, today we're going to paint and draw this adorable Caticorn. If you need a list of materials that you need to complete this project, you can check out the description below. But for now, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is draw a circle for the cat's head. We're just going to draw some basic shapes for now, and then we'll add in some details as we go and erase some pencil lines. So here's the head of the cat, and then we're going to draw a bigger circle for the body of the cat. It kind of looks like a snowman at the moment. Alright, so once you have that, we're going to go ahead and add some ears to the cat. We don't want super big ears, but we don't want super small ears either. So just some triangle type shapes on top of the kitty cat's ear or head. Alright, and then we're going to add the horn. Again, a triangle shape. I've made this one a little bigger than I normally would have, so I'm going to make this one a little thinner. Some lines kind of curving down for the horn. For the mane of the Caticorn, we're going to draw a curved shape and a point, and then back around. You can see there's two lines inside of there, so we're going to start at this side and go back to the point, and then over here again and back to the point. Alright, we have another piece of hair coming out, so we're going to go start right here and curve upward and then back down. And again, this has two lines on the inside for this Caticorn's rainbow hair. So there we have the cat's hair. Next, we're going to move down to the nose of the cat. For the nose, we just need to draw an upside down triangle like this. A little line down for his mouth. There's three little dots on either side. And then, of course, his whiskers. You just want to draw some lines coming out. I did 3 on each side just to make it not too busy. Alright, for the kitty's eyes, we're just going to first start right about here from the nose. I like to draw a little circle here and then go up and back down. And then on the opposite side, kind of try to keep it even on the kitty's face. Another dot, up and down. Okay, we're going to do the inside of the ears here. So a line up, a line all the way down, and then you can see the kitty has a little bit of fur in the ears. We're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Now, while we're at this point, let's go ahead and erase the lines that we don't need anymore on the face. We won't need it, some of these lines on the inside of the hair anymore. And then also right here at the neck, you won't need this line, because as you can see, it doesn't quite touch. And as you probably noticed too, that this cat is a little fuzzier, so we're going to go ahead and kind of use these lines that we made as guidelines, but make it a little more jaggedy looking, like this, so that the cat has longer, fuzzier fur. We're going to do the same for the body. Okay, alright, and then we are going to start on the tail. So I'm going to start about halfway here. Take your pencil, go around, and then curve this way. Okay, and then we're going to curve back up, and this is just the basic shape. We're going to add some more details in a minute, and then back. So you kind of want it to look like this at first. And before we put the details on the tail, we're going to go ahead and draw the cat's legs in. So some kind of jaggedy lines coming down, one on this side of the nose and one on this side of the nose. Okay, now for the details of this cat's tail, we're going to kind of start here and do like a kind of a jaggedy type shape. it's a little more controlled than the rest of the body, so then we want to kind of come up and then stop and back, and we're going to draw another line like this. So you can kind of tell over here what I'm doing. Kind of a curve and then back, and then a curve and then back, and then a curve, and then we're going to do the same going back this way. This kind of gives the tail kind of a fuzzy looking appearance. It gets soft. Alright, when you are done drawing all that, you want to go in with your pencil and erase some extra lines that you might have. I want my tail to be a little pointier here. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Alright, now as you can see, there's a rainbow on the tail, so just as a guideline, I kind of put some very light pencil marks in there so that I didn't forget to leave space for color. So I have red, and then I'm going to leave some space for the orange. I'm going to leave some space for the yellow, some space for the green, some space for the blue, and that leaves purple up here, which is fine. All right, I think we have our Caticorn sketched out, so we're going to go ahead and with our marker go over all of the lines. You can make these lines on the outside a little thicker just to give a little more dimension if you want, or you don't have to. But we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll start painting. If at any point you need to just pause the video and catch up and kind of just look at my sample picture, that's totally fine. It'll probably be very helpful. I do want to mention that when you're going over with your lines, you don't need to go over these light pencil marks here for the colors. That's just for when you're painting. Alright, I think I'm done with my pencil or my marker lines, so I'm going to go ahead with my eraser and erase all my pencil lines, except for these, to use as the guideline for the colors. I'm just going to go right around those and just let those there. They should be very, very light so that hopefully the paint will cover them up. Okay, I think I'm just about ready to paint here. So I'm gonna take my kind of medium-sized brush and I'm gonna start on the horn. So do the horn, I'm gonna make the horn wet, and then I'm gonna go in with some yellow. I'm using this kind of dark yellow, and I'm gonna go over the lines first and this side. And then I'm gonna kind of let it spread over there a little bit. I did use a little bit of brown here too, to try to make it look a little bit more of a gold color. So I'm going in with tiny bit of brown. Kind of the same thing, going over those black lines just to give it some 3D effect. Okay. All right, next I'm gonna do the cat's mane here. So we're gonna do red first. And just ever so carefully, trying to stay in the lines as best as you can. And then move to orange. Okay. This is pretty quick because they're such small little spots. We're going to do some yellow. And then some green. Okay. And then some blue. Okay. And last, something purple. That's more of a blue color. Some purple here. You can see my color choices aren't exactly the same as they are on that side. I have lots of different shades of color on here. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Yours can be however you like. You don't even have to do rainbow if you don't want to. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of pink on the inside of the ears. So again, I'm just going to make it a little wet. Then I'm going to grab some pink. I don't want too dark a pink. It should just be a light pink. So our main focus of this picture is the features of the unicorn. To make it a caticorn. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just make the inside a little wet and then dab it with little bits of pink. While we have our pink, we might as well do the nose of the cat. So we're going to go ahead with our pink. This can be a little darker. Okay. If you are ready for the next step, we're going to go ahead. You can see that this cat has a little bit of dimension added to it with some browns. I want the cat to look white, but I also wanted it to look like it was a little bit 3D. So what we're going to do is take our brush and kind of make just around the edges where it might be a little darker, wet, not super wet. And then we're going to take the tiniest little bit of brown, or even you could use gray, just to add a little bit of color. I'm going to try a little bit of gray. This one I used brown. This one I'm going to use a little bit of gray. Maybe you can tell the difference. And you can kind of move it out a little if you need to by adding a little more water. But you can tell that that side of the face has a lot more dimension than that side of the face now. Also right under here would be a pretty big shadow under here. So we're going to add a little bit of darker color there too. If you get too much paint, you can just add a little water and then dab it onto your towel. Spread it out a little bit. Watercolor is pretty easy to move around, especially if you do it quickly. All right, we're going to go to the other side of the head. Add some shadows on this side. You can see it's a little darker on this side right now, but if I keep kind of pulling that out, it's going to get lighter and lighter. And you can pick some up, and it blends right on out. Okay, so next we're going to do the rest of the body. So right under here would be a shadow, just making that wet like I did before. And right here by the legs would also be a shadow. Go in with my gray. Again, don't like freak out if it starts to look dark, because you can pick some color up very, very easily if you need to. Okay, I think that side's done, so I'm going to do in between the legs here and this side of the body. Right here would probably be the darkest spot. Okay, all right, now even though those legs are in front of the body, there's still a shadow right in here because it's behind the tail. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little shadow there. Again, made it wet first and kind of smoothed it out. Picked up some paint if I need to. And there we go. All right, now we get to do the fun part, the tail. So for this part, we're going to go ahead and start at the tip of the tail. We're going to start with our red. You can see it's a little darker down here on the bottom, but I didn't super shade it. So we just kind of start filling it in. We want it to be a little bumpy on this side, so don't just go straight. You want it to kind of blend together so that it looks like a cat's fuzzy tail or a unicorn's fuzzy tail. Okay, so that's my red. We're just going to keep moving quickly while that's still wet, and we'll start blending in some orange. You can kind of make it touch that red, and it'll kind of move into each other and make kind of an orangish red color. It makes a gradient. Add some more orange, making it darker down here again and up here. And then we're going to make it bumpy again so we can move into our next color, which will be yellow. And darker down here, start to blend it in here. And back and forth like fur. That's blended in. I need to add a little more yellow here. Get a little bumpy, so we're ready for our green. I'm going to go with this green here for this. Which maybe I'll add a little more of this green up here, just so it matches better. Okay, and then back down here. Add all this green in. Blend it in. A little darker down here. And our next color is blue. Go in with this blue. Adding a little of this darker blue. And you can see it's kind of making a bluish green color as it's moving into each other. This blue that I used over here is a lot lighter. Alright, our last color is purple. I'm going to go with this purple. Now, this part back here is going to be dark because of the shadow. So we want to kind of pull it toward the blue here. We want to make sure there's also some purple. So try not to drag the blue too much into the purple, or you might end up with just blue. If you need to, and you want to add a little bit of blue back here just to make that a little darker, you can. Alright, I think our Caticorn tail is done, and I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you enjoyed painting with me. If you did, like, subscribe, and share, and I hope to see you again next time. You can check out some other fun links in the description below, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!